Welcome to part 7 of the missions tutorial series. The last episode we gave these guys some missions. One was to kill this enemy, so we can set this enemy as a mission related enemy down here and which mission they're referring to. This guy wants us to open a door, so we can set mission related objects over here, mission related and the mission index. So today we're going to look at items as mission items. And to do so, you can see I've already got it open here, but we'll just open a fresh one, come down to content blueprints, inside pickups, open up pickup base. So come down over to input action, action reload, and let's scroll all the way to the end of this script. So the end of the script isn't at the end of the for each loop, it's actually at the end of completed, because the for each loop is looking for a duplicate item. So we want to come over here to the end of this part of the script. We still have a print string here, which we'll attend to later, put that properly in the UI. But before the print string, let's actually put our new script. It's going to be the same as we did last time, so we're going to need two variables for this. The first is going to be mission related, which is a boolean. It's going to have its eyeball here clicked so that we can modify it inside the level. And then we'll add another one. This one will be called mission index, which will be directly related to the mission index. We'll click the eyeball this time and change it to an integer, compile and save. So let's go and review that script that we created over in our enemies. So under blueprints, over in enemies, and b_enemy base. So this is the script here. If an item is mission related, then we'll get that mission and set it to turn in. And in this case, we need to destroy the actor, but we don't need to destroy the actor for the pickup base. So we'll do the exact same thing. Mission related is easy enough. We'll just grab a branch holding B, put that branch after we've set our collision. We could either plug the print string in at the end of the script and also add a false, but because we don't have that UI, I think I'll change my mind on this one and we'll plug the print string in here. We know we need to replace it because every time we have a print string, we have to replace it anyway. So we'll come back for that, but just so we don't have to fill that out with a rewritable to plug in that executable. So just as we did last time, we need to either copy this over or redo it. In this case, I will copy it over. Reference hero, missions, get, set members in S mission, reference hero, missions, set array element, and we'll replace both those mission indexes with the variable in here. We'll plug this in right here and drag mission index on top of the get and drag mission index on top of the index here. So that's all well and good. We pick up the item and then this will turn in. However, our item doesn't just get picked up. It can also be dropped. So if we pick up an item and then we drop it, we need to remember to set turn in to false. Otherwise, the NPC will still think the mission is ready to be completed, which would be a glitch. So let's copy this over as is. We don't need to change any of the variables in this case because all the variables exist inside the same blueprint class. So we can copy that and come down here and you can see here that we're resetting our collision at the end of this. So it's fitting that we put the same script at the end of this as well. So we set the collision back on when we drop the item. The only thing that hasn't come over, I seem to have missed the rewritable. So we'll plug struct add into item and we'll do the same down here for the drop item. So when we pick up the item, we set turn in to true, but if we drop the item, then we set turn in to false. So with that done, let's compile it. And you can see that our hero reference doesn't really like being copied over in this case. It worked last time, but this time it hasn't worked. So we'll get rid of reference hero here and replace, I think there would be about 4 of them. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. So now when we compile, we'll get the tick because we've replaced the hero reference. A great example of why we need to change the variables over to the ones inside this blueprint. Sometimes copying and pasting works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's go and give that a test. And as with all things, we will test this out in such a way that we can test all our mission types together. So old mate here, his mission is story mission 3. Old mate here is story mission 4 with a prerequisite of 3. So let's alt drag out another NPC. And this NPC, if we drag down here, because we've alt dragged, he's going to keep the same settings as the previous NPC. So we'll change 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. So this mission cannot be picked up until we do the other 2 missions. And now when we select one of our base pickup items, you can see here that we have the option to make it mission related. So we'll grab the first base pickup, I'll drag it over here. So we actually have to get some time for the mission pop-up to happen. And I'm going to set this as mission related. And as per this NPC's mission, being index 4, story mission 5, we will set the related mission to 4. So now let's hit play. We'll walk up to the NPC. This one wants us to kill that enemy, which we'll do. This one wants us to open the door, which is done. So we'll talk to NPC 1. He'll give us completed prior. Wait for this to disappear. He's happy for our missions to be completed prior. And now we'll talk to this NPC. He'll give us the missions. We haven't completed the mission prior, so he's just going to give us story mission 5. He wants us to go and pick up this item. We'll stand over this item and pick it up. And we'll talk to him. And because the item set our mission to turning in, that means that he will let us complete the mission. So in this case, he was happy for us to just have the item. And if we come down to inventory, we still have that item there. So this means that we need to be able to tell our NPC to take the item from us if the mission is item related. To do this, we'll hop into our NPC mission giver script and let's have a look at what happens down here in mission check. So over here at the end of this script, get our hero reference and then let's get our inventory. Then we'll get a for each loop. So we're going to check all the items in our inventory. We're going to check them for 2 things. Firstly, our inventory items are structs, and inside those structs is an item. So we need to refer to the item. Break S inventory, grab the item, and cast to base pickup. So we're going to refer to the item inside the inventory. And once that's done, we can hide unconnected pins. So out of that item, the first check is mission related. So we'll grab the branch, and if it's mission related, then we'll drag out of that and get mission index. We want to check if the mission index is equal to the mission that we're referring to. So we'll grab a branch, because if we have multiple mission items, we don't just want to remove all mission items. We could have an item for another mission that's completely unrelated to this mission. So that is going to come from our array element over here. So we'll drag that out and plug that in there. So once we've done those 2 checks, we'll copy over the inventory again, drag out and type in remove item. And plug that into true, and the item in question is going to be the array element from this for each loop. Grab some reroutables, clean that up. So we'll plug that into add unique. And then so long as that's been punched in correctly, that should only remove the related item. So let's go and test that out, compile and save, back over to the world. Because we don't want to have to keep doing these 2 missions for the meantime, let's go over and remove our prerequisite index over here. Remember the number 3 because we're going to replace it again at some point. So we'll remove this element by deleting it so we don't have to complete those 2 missions to do it. So we'll hit play. Here is the item. We'll pick it up. If we open our inventory, we can see the item there, base pickup. We'll walk up to the NPC and talk to him. He'll say give missions. He'll realize that we already have the item. And then if we complete that mission, then check our inventory, we can see that the item is no longer there. So that script is working. Another thing we'll do, don't worry about those errors. Those are errors for our items setting their collision. We'll come over to our mission giver and we'll set up a Boolean to check if there is an item related to this mission. So we'll add to the variables and we'll say item related. We'll click the eyeball because this will be something we edit inside the world. Just so we don't run this script all the time, we only run it when we absolutely need to. So I'd say that this is kind of optional, but I'm going to put it here because I like to put these checks in. And then at the end of add unique, we'll put in that branch. And if the mission is item related, then we will worry about running this script. So we don't have to run it every single time, because every single time we run the script, we're also running through our inventory. So it's a for each loop attached to a for each loop, which isn't a problem, but those little optimizations might allow you to run on lower power systems depending on the size of your game and how many platforms you're targeting. One final test. Let's pick up the item. Now let's go into our inventory, select the item and drop it. We'll go back out. The item's disappeared, which isn't ideal, but that's fine for now. What we're going to do is talk to this NPC, and he's not going to give us completed prior because we've dropped the item. So that means that we have an item-based mission system working just as intended. I'm going to leave it there for now, and in the next episode, I'll figure out where that item went so we don't lose items when we drop them, and we'll also look at making a menu for us to check all of our missions. So I'll see you then.